fight fans, and welcome back to a new video. In this video I will break down the UFC 248 title fight between the middleweight champion Israel the Last Stylebender Adesanya and the challenger Yoel Soldier of God Romero. First I will speak about what I would personally like to see from each fighter in order to increase their chance of walking out as the middleweight champion, and then I will speak about what I think will happen in the fight, and in the end of the video I will give you my final prediction. Now, let's start by looking at the tail of the tape. Adesanya is 30 years old and is 6 feet 4 inches tall and has a reach of 80 inch. And Yoel Romero is 42 years old and is 6 feet inches tall and has a reach of 73.5 inch. Let's start to talk about the challenger. Yoel Romero holds an Olympic silver medal in wrestling and will for sure be the best wrestler that Adesanya has faced in his whole career. Despite the high level wrestling of Romero, we have not seen him wrestle as much as one thing an Olympic silver medalist would wrestle. The wrestling of Romero will be a key factor if he wants to stand a chance to become a champion before he retires, so Romero and his team needs to have a good game plan to follow come fight night. In my opinion, for this bout, Romero has to level change constantly, which will make Adesanya feel threatened of ending up with his back on the ground, and will also make Adesanya more careful when he strikes, because he will know that Romero might shoot for a takedown anytime. Romero will have to mix up the level changes with takedowns and with strikes to become as much unpredictable as possible. The takedowns would open up for the strikes, and the strikes would open up for the takedowns. So if playing his cards right, Romero will have a huge advantage if using this kind of tools. Romero will be the shorter fighter, so he will have to cut the distance and he has to be ready to receive a strike in order to land his own strikes. So Romero needs to use his jab a lot so he can cut the distance to set up the strikes and the takedowns. I believe also that Romero will have a huge advantage in the clinch, as we have seen Romero trip his opponents before from the clinch, and in this particular fight, Romero can use the trips to get the fight to the ground. Romero should also use his oblique kicks that he successfully used against Robert Whittaker in their first bout to try to take away the movements of Adesanya, as Israel Adesanya is a fighter that relies a lot on his footwork. We all know that Romero has some serious knockout power, and if he can make Adesanya drop his hands to defend a takedown, it will set up the heavy hands of Romero, and we might see a knockout, as we have seen Adesanya both being dropped and knocked out before. Romero is a fighter that relies a lot on his explosiveness and the power in his hands, and those explosive movements that he makes can make him really gassed, and we have seen Romero fade out before in the later rounds, so he needs to fight very smart to not empty his gas tank, otherwise it will be a very long night for the Soldier of God. Now let's talk about the champion. Adesanya is one of the best strikers to ever step inside the octagon and has 80 professional kickboxing bouts to his name. Adesanya made his professional MMA debut back in 2012 and has for every fight since that showed that he's a top MMA fighter and not only a kickboxer. The Last Stylebender will have a big advantage on the feet and has to keep the fight standing by keeping the fight, in my opinion, in a kickboxing range where he can strike without coming too close, risking being taken down by Romero. I would personally like to see Adesanya keep his distance by using long strikes like the long jab, and I would also like to see Adesanya press Romero to try to force him to shoot for a takedown in order to counter it. If Adesanya gets taken down, he will have to try to get right back up immediately and not accept to stay on the ground. Adesanya is one of the best fighters at feinting and setting up his strikes from different angles and using different techniques. As long as he keeps doing this, it will be very hard for Romero to make the read of what Adesanya is going to do. Adesanya should be careful with his kicks so Romero does not catch them and take him down, but the Last Stylebender is a sniper with his strikes, so I personally think that he will be fine on the feet as long as he's staying on the outside pressing Romero and keeping himself busy with a lot of volume. Romero tends to be a very stationary fighter, so it won't be very difficult for Adesanya to connect with his strikes, and he should, in my opinion, mix the strikes to the body and not only headhunt. This fight is going to be a war, and I think it's going to be a very even fight. This is the last chance for Romero of becoming a champion, so Romero will do everything in his power to win the belt. Adesanya has for every fight in the UFC shown tremendous amount of maturity in his game and is constantly evolving his MMA game as a whole. Come fight night, I think that Adesanya will take the center and will start to pick up Romero with the strikes, and Romero will wait and then explode with heavy shots, hoping that he drops the champion. I think that Romero has a very good chance of knocking Adesanya out, but my final prediction is that Adesanya will win by a close decision. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win and why. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.